The National Liquor Traders Council of South Africa represents around 34,500 licensed tavern owners. Workers in the sector support more than 200,000 dependents. But the ban of alcohol sales during the lockdown has meant that most establishments having had an income for several months now. With restrictions on sale of on-site alcohol consumption lifted, could this help the struggling sector, or is the move very late? Joining us to talk about this now is Tavern owner Musa Ntshangase. Musa Ntshangase, good evening and thank you so much for your time tonight. First and foremost, do you welcome the decision that has been taken by the collective, the National Command Council, Cabinet and the experts who have decided to move the country to lockdown level 3?
Good evening, Thabo.
Level 2, I beg your
pardon. And good evening to the viewers. Yes, Thabo, we welcome lifting of a suspension, restoring the livelihoods of households affected by the lockdown. We also wish to express our sincere gratitude for taking this bold decision by the President.
Talk to me about how you were affected by the lockdown when we were still in lockdown level 4 and 5. How much revenue did you lose?
We endured financial strains as a result of being discriminated against by all government agencies that excluded us from the economic relief, because the grant eligibility criteria for the Department of Trade and Industry exclude liquor companies, and also it excludes liquor traders.
So when we now moved to lockdown level 3 and the ban on alcohol was lifted, some of your counterparts, in fact, contracted the virus. And they say this, when they think back, it's because they were interacting with clients and consumers at the time, consuming alcohol, obviously not wearing masks, speaking loud in closed rooms, very little ventilation, and that's how they contracted the disease. Are you not concerned that this move will certainly increase community infection? Because the virus, we know from experts that indoors, in close proximity, those people who come in contact with the virus are more likely to be infected.
Look, Thabo, with the taverns and the ship-ins, it's different. During the lockdown, when we reopened, it was only takeaways. So people were not sitting in enclosed places. But now, all protocols will be followed. Precautionary measures will be applied. And adhering to the regulations, it will depend according to the size of your place, because what the regulations say is that there must be not more than 50 people in your outlet.
Yeah.
So depending on the size of your place, and it must be ventilated.
Okay.
And people must wear masks, and also we must have sanitizers.
Yeah. But how are people going to wear masks, Musa? I mean, realistically, talk to me. You've got 50 people in your tavern, right? They are drinking. How are they going to wear a mask? Talk to me about it.
You must remove your mask and take a sip and put it back again.
All right. Look.
No, it's going to be difficult, I understand.
There is a suggestion. The suggestion is takeaways only, of course, if you don't have space for people to be able to be set outside, because outside at least there is ventilation, there is movement of air. Because I mean, if an adult, we're told, breathes 12 to 15 times a minute. That's about, 10 liters of air per minute, 100 liters in 10 minutes, 600 liters in an hour. Imagine 50 people in a room, 600 liters in an hour. That is a lot.
Yeah, it depends on the size of your outlet.
But
we will work with the authorities. We will work with the authorities to see what solution we can.
What about the idea of serving people outside instead of inside?
Look, Thabo, we are still awaiting for the NCCC to clarify what the President has said. Because always they might come up with something different. We are still awaiting them. You know, this is what happened last time. The President announced the regulations, then they come again and clarify what needs to happen. But in this case, we don't know. We are waiting for them.
Okay. So you're still waiting to get the directives, which I'm sure some of the ministers will be giving by tomorrow. But talk to me then about the commitment that as Tavern owners you have made as well when you went back to government to get them to open. You made some suggestions, including how you're going to partner with them to deal with human behavior, because one of the biggest issues is human behavior and how the virus works. And when people have consumed your product, how they behave. How are you going to deal with that?
Well, we have submitted to the government our plans and us willing to assist the government. We have submitted all our plans.
What is
when
that?
We are prepared, we are committed
what is that plan?
Protocols of
I'm saying, what is that plan? At a human level, right? Unamachita, they've come to your place, now they have taken too much. How do you behave? How do you monitor their behavior?
Thabo, in our outlets, there's a requirement that there must be security at the gate and the security inside your outlet to guard against that.
Okay. Then talk to me then about currently how many people were employed and whether or not you will be bringing back all your employees, and how are you going to protect them against getting sick?
Just by, Thabo, by adhering to the safety protocols that are there in place.
And how are you going to deal with the issue of sick pay? Are you going to pay your employees sick pay should they get sick while they are on duty?
The law says they must be paid. There's no other way. That is why, Thabo, we are very much concerned about what we have lost. We have lost a lot. And we don't have support from the government. We need support from the government.
So even with the move to lockdown level 2, you are still calling for support from government?
Exactly.
And do you see the business or the industry or the sector recovering from this now that the ban has been lifted?
It will be difficult. Right now, there are people who can't go back to business because they've lost a lot. Some of them, they've used their money that they've got to feed their families. So it's going to be difficult, Thabo.